Fortnite storyline is coming to an end after all of these years. Next season, we're going back in time to rewrite history with a live event that will end it all. So, to catch you up to speed, here is the entire Chapter 4 storyline so far. We jumped into Chapter 4 after the Herald's plan of stealing the 0 point failed, and we had to build a new island to live on. The island was occupied by the Ageless, a young snapshot of Geno who asked the Rift Warden Stellan to create a stable rift gate, a bridge to new realities. But Stellan also had his own reason to create it. He was being watched by a shapeless man. He said if he didn't finish the rift gate, the consequences would be terrible. Also keeping a keen eye on this project was Amy, the scientist's assistant. She wanted to use the rift gate to communicate with the scientist and the Seven to see how they are after being captured by the Chrome. And after the test subjects came back, she found out something horrible was happening to them. She needed to find them before it was too late. She'd built herself a bodysuit and entered the gate to go save him. But there was a problem with the rift gate. Stellan couldn't maintain the power needed to open the rift gate and turned to using raw kinetic ore, which undisturbed pulses with unimaginable power. Stellan was actually able to capture enough of this energy to power the stars itself. The Ageless had set the coordinates. The rift gate was now online. But there was one problem. The rift gate was out of control. The Rift Warden Stellan tells the Ageless that it could tear a permanent hole in reality. But someone had manipulated the coordinates of the rift gate. It started to destabilize. The gate is now destroyed and the sky is torn. But who sabotaged this rift gate? Well, it turns out it was Evie. She had brought her home reality to the island, which ended up smashing through the rift in the sky, and that took us into Season 2. Mega City arrived, but it turns out it was in danger. There was a saboteur trying to start a war between all the syndicates, the residents of Mega City. The saboteur would be messing around with one of the syndicates and pinning the blame on the other. The whole point of this was an attempt to create complete chaos, and so the saboteur could take over Mega City. Not much time had gone past when the Peace Syndicate's data network had been hacked. All intel on the last reality was pretty much gone and corrupted, and it was all down to the saboteur again. Evie's plan to deal with this situation was to get all the syndicates to unite as one to form an alliance. So, who was this saboteur? Well, apparently, according to Mystica, the saboteur was working for the Unseen. This group of people lived for causing chaos and were working closely with Triox Nox. Thankfully though, Renzo and Highwire put a stop to their plan. But while all the island was distracted with all of this going on, rumbles started to occur near Hidden Henge and Anvil Square. They intensified and eventually caused the island to split, revealing a long abandoned jungle which had been hidden underneath the surface of the island this whole time. Apparently, according to Mystica, the island started to split and crack due to the impact of Mega City hitting the island. With all of this going on, the live event isn't far off now. Season 3 was finally here. An abandoned jungle full of ancient secrets. A team, well known as the Explorers, set up camp in this rainforest to study its past. And who was watching them this whole time? Dr. Sloan. She wasn't dead. After the big war in Chapter 3, she found herself trapped in this jungle in her tank and was rescued by someone. She no longer worked for the Imagined Order, as she is done with them, as she tells Gunnar. With all this secret dialogue that was being revealed, it turns out Relic was her rescuer and got her back on her feet. Sloan had stumbled across an old busted machine, thought to be a telescope projector. It needed refined kinetic ore prisms to manipulate the light to work. On the other side of the jungle, a chalice was found, and Aura told us that she had a collector that was after it. Little did we know at the time, she was talking about Kado Thorn. He was obviously the collector. Optimus Prime was also here on the island and told Dr. Sloan that she knows the path forward and that the answers we seek lie in our past. Great danger is on the horizon, and that the power that once flowed through the island, the 0 point, has now faded. Sloan had now teamed up with the Explorers to get the ancient apparatus up and working. She went off looking for clues and found this glyph deep within the ruins. It was a picture of someone that arrives during an eclipse. She'd now got the apparatus up and working, and her plan now was simple: to bring this being to the island. The apparatus manipulated the light using these prisms and revealed an incoming eclipse in the sky, the same that was shown on the walls of the ruins. Season 4 was now here, and a live event for the end of the chapter is lining up perfectly. The eclipse finally took place, and a well-known vampire, Kado Thorn, took residence on the island. He drained the island's wealth and treasures over the years to build luxury apartments. Stage 1 of Dr. Slone's big plan had worked. She quickly hired Nolan Chance and his crew, the best robbers in the universe, to create a heist to steal Kado Thorn's most prized possession, his time machine. What would Dr. Slone want with that? Well, we'll find out in a minute. The Ancients last season, in Season 3, tried warning Dr. Slone about the dangers of bringing Kado Thorn to the island, but this was quite literally our last resort. After a few weeks, the eclipse occurred again. Now Kado Thorn was in his vampire form. It was now go time. It was time to steal the time machine. Fortnite was now here, which worked as a perfect distraction. Vampire hunters such as the High Stakes Club and Shimmer Dusk would arrive to the island after tracking down Kado Thorn for years. It was now their time to take him down once and for good. The heist was successful. The time machine was now in Dr. Slone's hands, and during the fight between the vampires and vampire hunters, Shimmer Dusk killed Kado Thorn. His reign was now over. Out of nowhere, Jonesy had arrived to the island after being stuck out on a floating rock after the Fusion Live event for the last 4 seasons, and had now joined forces with Dr. Slone. Remember, they used to work with each other back in the Imagined Order, then became enemies, and are now back together again. So, we now have the time machine, now what? Well, remember Optimus Prime told Dr. Slone that the answers we seek lie in our past? That's exactly what we're doing. We're going back in time. Season 5 is here now, and we're going back to Chapter 1 for 1 whole month. Yep, that's how long the season is, with a live event at the end of it, going into Chapter 5, which has just been confirmed. Throughout this month, each week we'll be travelling back to a different season in Chapter 1 to find answers and clues to potentially rewrite history. According to the leaker Hypex, the countdown timer in-game will start on November the 21st, with the season ending on December the 3rd. And this is roughly when this live event will be taking place. Apparently, something to do with the lobby will change, and once the live event is over, we'll go into an extended downtime, similar to Chapter 1 Season X. So it seems like we're going to be reliving the Black Hole event all over again at the end of Season 5. And there we go, that is the Fortnite storyline right up until now, and the live event at the end of Season 5. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, be sure to check out my other video I picked out for you on screen here. I'll see you over there.